Hello and welcome to VRCore Software's first video. This is the first of a series of 4 videos that will introduce the Note Central note-taking system. The first of these 4 videos will cover the program Note Central. So let's get that installed really quick. Here's the information specific to Note Central. The license agreement, just like many programs have. And as you can see here, this program is quite small. Oh, and it's going to be installed to the Note Central System folder. This is where all 4 of the programs will be installed to ensure that they run correctly with one another. So get that installed, that's already done. So, so this is Note Central. And Note Central is the core program that is needed to ensure that all 4 of the programs run correctly. So this always has to be running at least in the background for the other 3 to work correctly. So the main settings window excuse me, is split up into 3 tabs. The first of which is the Note Central settings. So as you can see here, these are the 3 buttons to start Note Taker, Note Scanner, and Note Ghost if you have them available and installed. These are to quit Note Taker, Note Scanner, and Note Ghost. And now down here we have the other Note Central controls. These 2 will probably not be needed so much anymore. They were first put here because there were a couple of unresolved bugs that were handled by using these 2 buttons. I have since taken care of those bugs as well as all other bugs I have encountered so far. That said, in case down the line there might be a small bug that I might have missed along the way, these 2 buttons can be used to help resolve such bugs until I can release a update to quickly take care of that. This first button, by clicking it, simply ensures that all the settings on this window are correctly synced up to the way they're supposed to appear. The second button was mainly used for a previous bug, which would occasionally cause the hotkeys to become disabled. So simply by clicking on that reloads the settings window, and there you go, that should fix the hotkeys. But again, these 2 buttons should not even be needed anymore, but in case a rare bug might come up, hopefully these can take care of these until I can get to an update. So this next button is used to close the settings window, but as you can see here, like it says, it will remain running in the background. And like I said, that's very important to ensure that the other 3 programs remain running correctly. This last button is to actually quit the program, and it does give you a warning that the other 3 programs will probably not function correctly without this one running. Down here, this one will toggle whether or not you want the notice messages to show up. So like you saw when I close the window, it brings up that notice message. But now when I uncheck that, there you go, all those notice messages are gone if you already know the ins and outs of this program and how it runs and don't need those. Now, this next one allows you to decide whether or not you want this window to come up on program start. Once you get all your settings set up the way you want to, then you might not even need this window when you first start the program. You're already just good to go. So if I uncheck that and quit, start again, now you see the window doesn't come up. The next setting probably ties in with that previous one. The next setting automatically starts the other 3 programs when Note Central is started. So again, once you know the ins and outs and how everything works, then you can just toggle on auto start, toggle off show settings window. So as soon as you double click Note Central, all 4 programs are running, there's no settings window, and you're good to go. The last setting just lets you decide whether or not you want the other 3 programs to show in the tray. So you can leave that checked if you want to see and make sure which of the 4 programs are running, or you can uncheck it if you want to reduce the clutter in your tray and just show Note Central running, as you can see it running here. Which that brings me to another point. Whenever this window is closed, you can always come down here to the tray, to that icon, right click it, and click on Show Settings Window. Otherwise, as I'll get to later, there's a shortcut key to open up the window. Again, I'll get to that later. So over here on the right, I have this first button here opens up the current notes file that it's reading from. So if I open that, here is a list of notes I've taken. For the next button, this opens up the help file for Notes Central. The next button shows the program folder, which shows the 4 programs if you have them installed, the uninstallations for them, and the documentation for each one, including the manual for each program. The Notes Central help file gives you an overview of how everything works, but the other 3 files go much more in depth to how each of those programs work. And finally, we have the data folder, which shows the settings file as well as any other notes that you've taken. So that pretty much covers this screen. Now the next tab is the general note settings. Now the mode feature is a little bit tricky to explain without actually demonstrating how it works, so I will get to that in a different video when I'm demonstrating Note Taker and Note Scanner. In the meantime, I'll simply say that the modes is used to tell the program how to handle note taking and note displaying within various text prompts. Now here, this is where we tell where we want notes to be written to and read from. So the writing to is handled is used for Note Taker and Note Ghost, whereas reading from is handled by Note Central and Note Scanner. Now down here, this is just a notice about auto modes. Again, I'll get more into that later what that is, but I'll just sum it up by saying that that's basically a way to more conveniently and automatically handle the mode settings as you go from program to program. And down here, this is just a blank space that it doesn't do anything. It's just there to give you a place to type in text commands if you don't have another place that's more readily available. Now this last tab is the key bindings. So as you can see here, I did mention that there's a shortcut key to show the settings window. So it's Control-Alt-/. So if the window is hidden, you hit Control-Alt-/ and there's the window. And you can customize that to whatever you want it to be, as well as the rest of these hotkeys. The next hotkey is for Note Taker for the text selection. Again, I'll get to that in the next video. That's default Control-Alt-N. And for Note Ghost, which again I'll get to on that respective video. Here are the hotkeys to turn Ghostwrite mode on and off. Now, a couple of quick notes I want to make. The first one is about the file settings here and the hotkeys here. As you can see under each of these settings, there's a button that once you make your changes, you click on the button to update that setting. Well, with the way the program is currently designed, for example, if I type here Notes 22, it doesn't actually update the file until I click that button. But now if I have something typed there, with the way the program is currently designed, if you leave that there and don't update it, anytime you change any other setting on this window, it will update all of the settings. That includes whatever you have typed there that you didn't save. So for example, if I change the mode, that updates all of the settings, including what you had typed there, now updates it to be the current write file. Now that's simply the way that the program is currently designed. If people prefer, I can always change that later. Because one of the big things is I want to be open to feedback on what people think about this program, what improvements I can make. And I already have planned a full list of features I plan to add on as time goes on. And I do plan to support the Note Central note-taking system for an indefinite amount of time to come. So, the last note I want to mention is about folders. Now, currently, the way that you tell it to write to a folder, for example, let's say I had a folder called Notes folder. So I would type in here before the file name, Notes folder /, and then notes.txt. Now, the only thing about this will work, but currently with the way the program is designed, you have to first manually create this folder in that directory. So you would come over here to open the data folder, and then you would create that notes folder yourself. You would go right click, new folder, and name it whatever you want to, in this case notes folder. Then you can come over here and set that. Now later I do have planned a feature to automate that, so that when you type this in, if that folder doesn't exist, it'll automatically create it. But for now you do have to manually create the folder. Again, there's a long list of features and improvements I have planned for this. So I believe that it sums it up. Oh, by the way, you can also specify a full path to write your notes to. Like for example, I don't know the folder names by heart, but like you can type in something like C drive, username, documents, or something like that to give it an exact path to write the notes to. However, I would probably recommend that you stick to just writing the file names, or maybe with a folder, to keep everything within the data folder and keep things simple that way. But again, if you prefer, that option is there to specify other places. You do have to manually create the folders though, until I add that feature that makes that part automatic. So with that, I believe that sums up Note Central. Now I apologize, and I understand that certain aspects of this might be a little bit confusing about some of these settings, but hopefully everything will fall into place as you go forth and see the videos for Note Taker, Note Scanner, and Note Ghost. So with that, thank you very much for your time and support. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed these programs. Thank you very much. Bye.